Welcome everyone to the SERL American Ethanol Series Season 2 Race 15 at Castle Gorge Speedway, and we have 42 drivers ready to go on the 0.875 mile triangular racetrack that is also what I'm going to call the Triangular Stadium, because grandstands ring around this triangular racetrack, and so that's why it's called the Triangular Stadium. And I think it's the only triangular like short track that this series goes to. The closest track the SERL goes to period is Carbondale, which the Truck Series went to a couple weeks ago. And last week's race at Kentucky was won by Johnny Mills, who I believe had a pretty good car all day long. He was up front all day long as well, and I feel like that being up front is how you're going to have to win this race. We saw it a season ago when Daniel Voyles, I think he started on the front row or the row behind that, and went out ahead. Did get challenged a couple times by Eric Almerhart, but he was able to hold on those last several laps, and he went on to win that race. And I think that it was that win that would help him have enough points to be in the championship picture and then go on to win the championship. And I feel like that a race like this, even though we still have many races to go, once the season is over, I think that not just drivers in the championship picture, but just any driver is going to be looking back at the season and say, well, what could I have done differently? What did I not do great at? What could I had done instead? And I think that Castle Gorge might be one of those tricks we look at. And speaking of the championship picture, uh, Dale Scott is still our points leader. So entering Kentucky, both Dale Scott and Dean Orton were tied, but Dale Scott had a great day at Kentucky. Dean Orton did not, and that is the difference. But to me, I think at Castle Gorge, it could bring those two right back together along with any other driver, because Dale Scott and Dean Orton are just miles ahead of everyone else. And when I think about drivers that are high up in points, we have Bronick Hedgehog, and then and actually just in front of him in fourth place in points is Daniel Voyles. Blaine Keys is the fifth place driver in points, who starts close to the front. And I feel like that as far as when it comes to anything else I have to say about this racetrack, expect quite a bit of crashes and also a lot of sliding. We saw a lot of sliding a season ago, and I felt like that is what caused I think it caused maybe all of our crashes a season ago, so watch out for a lot of slipping and sliding. But anyway, now let's get the cars rolling off. So here is the starting lineup here, and actually this is actually just a quick map of the racetrack. The starting lineup here, Andrew Gorman captures his third career pole, so now that puts him as the driver with the most poles this season. Ben Goldberg starts on the outside of him. Here is the rest of the starting lineup. And now, pace car heads down pit road, and we are about ready to get the second race ever at Castle Gorge underway, and the green flag is out now. Alan Gray is currently peeking to the inside, and Bill Crafton almost was able to clear Tony Valrio. But now, here comes out Alan Gray looking to the inside. Will he have the position? Doesn't look like it. But he's still going to be able to hang right in there. And Ben Goldberg is actually kind of making that outside work. As he now clears Alan Gray. This is somewhat impressive move by Ben Goldberg now. Now it looks like things are starting to get calmer here up front, but right here in this pecker here, things are getting very antsy. Especially right here, 3 wide right here. Philip Goldberg, Brian Casey, Nick Smith. Last season's winner Daniel Voyles. And now the caution's out here. So one car has gone off the bumper of someone else. And it looks like, oh my gosh, a huge crash! In the exact same area of where it seems like the caution came out here, and it has involved Dale Scott, but Dean Orton here. Dean Orton almost went upside down. So both of the championship contenders, the two drivers that we talked about the most all season long, have gotten involved in the after crash. But what did happen? What? Any sign of what brought the caution? Nope, it doesn't look like it. So let's find out who did. So let's find out what did bring out the caution. Charles Bellamy and John Martin hooked together here, and that causes them to go right down here into Hurley Haywood. Broke Hedgehog, but then Broke Hedgehog gets spun around here, and he kind of glitches into the outside wall, and Riley Smith gets collected. And it looks like both of these drivers' days might be over. But now let's take a look and see what happened one lap later. Pretty much the exact same thing, but this time it was Payne Keys and Matt Hotchkiss that hooked together, and they go right down right here and eventually collect our shot singer here, but also in front of him right here, Cameron Gaunton and Ben barely made contact, and that's how Dean Orton went around. And as you can see, Dale Scott, so he already had some damage here, but then trying to avoid the sliding Dean Orton here, those two just took together. And as you can see here, Evan DePaula, Nick Smith, Austin Kennedy, they all get bits and pieces of this crash. And Daniel Voyles here, I don't know how much damage he got, but he probably got the smallest amount of damage by the looks of it. But this is definitely going to shake things out. I don't know if any of these drivers that were involved in this crash are going to have to go to the garage, or at least some of them. But it'll be interesting. And now let's go on board a driver or two. Looking at some additional replays, I actually did not know that Daniel Voyles did this. He almost kind of flat out dumped the nice of Jonas Maps Jr. Riley Smith is the only driver that is out of the race, so that means we still have 41 drivers still on the racetrack, and they're all still on the league lap. But with how many drivers got damaged yet? I have to think that there's going to be some slow lap traffic that might actually get in the way if we get a super long green flag run, but we'll just have to see. Andrew Gorman leads back to green flag here as Crafton now makes moves to the inside of Club Crafton. That outside, it can sometimes work, but the thing is, I think that it takes a lot of, it takes a lot of skill and a good car to do that. But now, here comes Ben Goldberg in the number 3 car. He's trying to make something happen. He might be trying to at least up the 22 of Andrew Gorman, which in that case, that's not a bad move. Here, as you see, a couple of drivers here on the apron. Vic Crafton, and who was that? Randy O'Neill that was on the apron. Yeah, I think we'll see. I think we'll be seeing quite a bit of that at some point, guys. Garrett Snore and Willie Befford made some contact. Okay, for some reason I thought a crash was going to happen right there. But anyway, now Andrew Gorman, he has pulled out to a pretty good lead here. As we now have another crash, who's involved? Hurley Haywood is the driver that is sideways. He did get a piece of it in that last crash, so I don't know if him and the car is what caused it. But anyway, now that looks like that. While we are still pretty close to here, bumper to bumper type racing, the field has now separated just a little bit here, as Jonas Maps Jr. is still on the road. Ben Goldberg still trying to find a way to get past Andrew Gorman. I think Ben Goldberg might possibly have the better car, but I think he's just, I don't know if he's holding back and waiting until later, or if he's just having a difficult time trying to pass Andrew Gorman. Catching them is one thing, passing them is a wholly different thing. And now look at this here, side by side for the lead. Ben Goldberg, he might have the front line entering turn number 2 and turn number 3. As we get a great view of this triangle coliseum, and now we have the caution now. I did see a puff of smoke here. Evan DePaula, it looks like he might have some damage. He was down on the road. Arch Hossain also was some damage. He got some damage in that after crash, you know, the crash after the caution came out. And our leader is still going to be, I believe, Andrew Gorman. Where is he? Is Andrew Gorman still a leader? Yes, he is. So let's take a look. I believe Jonas Maps Jr. just got a little too high here, and that caused him and Austin Kennedy to hook together here, and Hurley Haywood, he just had nowhere to go here. And Hurley Haywood here, he does go around, but Jonas Maps Jr. took a pretty hard impact into that inside wall. Hurley Haywood hit the wall too, but not exactly as hard. Thank goodness for these safer barriers, and that explains why Jonas Maps Jr. was on pit road. But anyway, now let's take a look and see what actually brought the caution. Just before we do that, I want to take this time to go on board Jonas Maps Jr. because I feel like that if I do this onboard camera after I show the second crash, it's going to kind of waste time. And by wasting time, I mean wasting time when it comes to me recording these videos, because these videos take a long time to record, sometimes more than 40 minutes. Probably our most simple crash of the day. Daniel Voyles and Evan Apollo, which are outside the top 30, I hooked together here. Evan Apollo first hits the wall here, but then gets more help from Daniel Voyles, hits the outside wall pretty hard, and that might actually end his day. And this is a driver that it just seems like nothing can really go right for Evan Apollo this season. This is what happened to Arshaw Sane. So I believe Ian Saunders and the 85 of O'Neil Bowman here hooked together here, which caused Arshaw Sane here to hook right here into Garrett Sinor. But it also hit, but also when he came down the race here, he hit O'Neil Bowman as well. And chances are maybe something in like the toe or the suspension or or whatever exactly is here did get damaged here, because he fell off the pace considerably, and it looks like that his day is going to be over. Now, let's take you back to the green flag. For the first time in this race, we are now going to have lapped cars restarting on the inside. And those two drivers are Jonas Maps Jr. and Evan Apollo. And last season, we lapped cars became an interference earlier in that race, and they actually led to a couple of cautions. With this race, just having 11 more laps to go, I don't think they're going to be that much of an interference, especially if we get our caution, which looks like we might get that caution right about now here, because look at this, they're already holding up the entire inside line here, and oh my goodness here, so one car was smoking. Was it Alan Gray here? Oh, as oh my goodness here, Torn Deer, he has to go way high, and now all of a sudden here, battle for the lead. Here, I want to show. If we get show both battles here, that'd be great. But it doesn't look like it here. The top three have totally distanced themselves from everyone else, and now Ben Goldberg is now the leader. We are 4 wide right here, exiting turn number 3. They are 4 wide for just a moment right here, but looks like that. Where are the lap cars here? Oh my goodness here, Garrett Sinor, Matt Hoshkus, 2 veterans are here, into the inside wall. But is the caution going to come out? The caution is out, so Ben Goldberg, who just became the leader, he's gonna lead us to the restart. And where are these lap cars? Evan Paula is right there, so it looks like he's able to keep up with the speed. Jonas Maps Jr. is I think a little farther back, but tough break for Garrett Sinor and Matt Hoshkus. Let's take a look. The 4 of Connor Breeden, that red car all the way to the right, and Garrett Sinor, I think both of them went really high, and I think that eventually led to there not being enough room exiting the corner. Garrett Sinor here brushes alongside Connor Breeden here, and then he goes down the racetrack, and Matt Hoshkus is just an innocent victim right here. Garrett Sinor takes a pretty good look into that inside wall, and Matt Hoshkus actually just keeps it off the wall just in time. But for them, what could have been a finish inside the top 20 is now gone. Here is where everyone will restart. So we still have 38 drivers on the lead lap, but in total 40 drivers still on the racetrack. And here is the rest of the field. And now Ben Goldberg is the first leader other than Andrew Gorman, but will he be able to maintain his lead? Here we go, the green flag is back out. And Andrew Gorman, he keeps in touch with him. Alan Gray, not so much. And now the caution's out here. We have another caution right here. And what's it for? Oh my goodness here, Johnny Mills and Jonas Maps Jr. Johnny Mills are here. He was up front. I don't know if he was in the top 10 or not. And also we have other drivers also involved. That might have possibly have just been like the quickest caution we've ever had in this series. But oh my god, it's such a tough break for Johnny Mills. But I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I just hate these stupid lap cars getting in the way. And look at this. Blaine Keys is involved. Garrett Sinor also has some damage. Ryan Casey, looks like his day will also be over. Man, I hate lap cars. Maybe one day I'll make a sim racing game that can get rid of them, because it's just plain ridiculous. But anyway, let's take a look. Jonas Maps Jr. was already now up to speed even before flag. Blankies decides to go to the inside or here to try to pass him here, but then Jonas Pastor here, he comes down on Blankies here. They hit the inside wall here, and then they come back up across the street here, and John Mills just has nowhere to go. Many drivers do a good job here to avoid here, but Nick Smith, he had nowhere to go. Ryan Casey had nowhere to go, and Garrett Sinor had nowhere to go. But just overall, probably a very it was just a very dumb and stupid crash. That's all I really have to say about that. To kind of honor their bad finishes or just things that, or just things that should not happen to them, I feel like that it does not feel right to really just talk anymore about the crash, which that includes not even showing onboard cameras, whether you like that or not. But anyway, here is the race. So overall, probably one of my more least favorite races that I've done personally, but that's just my opinion. Ben Goldberg wins the race and made the move when it counted the most. This is his first career win ever in the SERL period, and this win might actually help him get himself inside the top 10 points. Andrew Gorman, Alan Gray, Torin Deere, Cleb Crafting, and Ray O'Neill, Abe Troxell, LJ Mills, Tommy Valrio. That rounds off the top 10. And it looks like that Dean Orton did finish in front of Dale Scott by just a few positions, so that's going to allow Dean Orton to close into that humongous points lead by Dale Scott just a little bit, um, but but in their cases, because they had damage, they are going to try to just get every possible point they can. But uh, once again, not their strongest performances, and I feel like that, like if this is how they're going to finish, then it might it could cause someone like Andrew Gorman to close in the gap here today, which I gotta say overall the entire top 5 in points really did not do that well, and I felt like that today could have been a great day for Blaine Keys if he did not get involved in that, and uh and it would have been a good day for Bro Ketchhog, which I actually feel like I think something happened to him, which because I don't remember him being involved in that crash that happened in turn number 1. So something happened to him. So overall, just not a great day for our top 5 uh, in points for the most part. And so next week, this series heads to Milwaukee. And last season, I remember Milwaukee not being that easy of a track to pass. So track position is really going to play into your performance in that race. And obviously, one way to get track position, good qualifying. So I have a feeling that whoever qualifies great is going to be up there battling and racing for the win. But anyway, I would like to thank everyone for watching this race. Be sure to rate, comment, subscribe, and bye. Congrats to Ben Goldberg.